Therapin is the medical cannabis company that was formed a couple of years ago in Israel. Myself and our chairman, Professor Moshe Meidar, led an investment group through the middle of 2019 and repositioned the company on premium products and high-end active ingredients. Initially, what the founders of Therapin, in its previous name called High Pharma, have done, they've been able to establish all the 4 basic licenses: farming, nursing, nursery, manufacturing, and distribution. But since then, we've kind of taken, we think, the company to a very different level. Therapin's vision is to become a global player in the emerging medical cannabis business. We believe very strongly that Israel has got a terrific ecosystem of research, of basic products, but the future of cannabis is really, as I alluded to in my intro, is to be able to create pharmaceutical-oriented companies with active ingredients. And really, our strategy is twofold. One is to be able to provide those active ingredients to some other sectors, either in the medical area, cosmetics, or food additives, or ourselves become partners with folks who develop new molecules and new cures for different diseases. We strongly believe that Israel is the center of excellence when it comes to medical cannabis. As you know, Professor Meshulam has been leading the way over the last 40 years in the Hebrew University with amazing research. Since then, there's been some other significant centers of excellence throughout the country, universities and Technion and elsewhere, and we're beginning to build some tentacles into those centers of excellence. There's, as part of the ecosystem in Israel, there's about 52,000 patients that have got prescriptions for medical cannabis, and this number is growing in 2020, and obviously it becomes a very useful database and data knowledge for learning about what treatments work in that kind of environment. Therapin's differentiation is really based around a couple of anchors, one of which is a fully integrated business system, starting with an indoor farming. Obviously, we have got our own genetics, we're doing our own breeding and manufacturing. Our team is a team of experts. Our master grower has grown indoors worldwide for many, many years. Our organization is led by Professor Moshe Meidar, who has built multi-billion-dollar companies in high-tech and industrial-based products. Yiftach Katz, our COO, has spent many, many years in building companies and operations for Teva and Taro. And yours truly has been a banker in JP Morgan in New York. And part of what we think is going to enable us to grow the company and create some value is not only to build the company organically, but also through mergers and acquisitions. Therapin's strategy is to use Israel as a foundation. Obviously, all of us, even Moshe Meidar and myself, although US citizens, but we are Israeli. We look into Israel as our platform, as our home base, but become a global company. The idea is really to distribute to markets that we can directly through wholesale channels, and we're in the midst of doing that. But more importantly, we're positioning the company as a technology company. That's hugely significant, especially that everyone is still waiting for the Israeli government to permit exportation. We think that with countries emerging with new licensing such as Thailand, Brazil, India, those countries are coming to us today asking for knowledge in breeding, in farming, in manufacturing, and we can joint venture with significant capital sources and partners in those countries. To date, Therapin has got 4 licenses for breeding, farming, manufacturing, and distribution. We've hired some top-notch managers from the agriculture, pharmaceutical, and research environments in Israel. We have just launched the build-out of our state-of-the-art farm, an indoor farm. We're finalizing details for a plant, which we're going to start building towards the end of this quarter. And we are in the midst of negotiating agreements with players both in Europe and in emerging markets in the Far East. Therapin has got 12 seeds, genetic types. It's disposable. They've all been certified and approved by the Israeli regulator, and they become really the foundation as we move forward later in the year in terms of producing active ingredients products. Well, Therapin is working in parallel a number of different activities over the next 12 months. We intend to complete the indoor farm halfway through the year. We'll complete the plant, the manufacturing plant, by the end of the year, which will enable us to begin sales in the November-December period. And as part of that, we're also hiring some top-notch sales and marketing folk who will be able to help us roll out the product as we build it. Therapin is a private company, and we are in the midst of raising $6 million, half of it from our existing investor base, and the remaining we are in conversations with outside investors in order to implement the plans we discussed. The company, all of us actually, Moshe Midar, Yiftach, myself, are operators, and we believe in building a company from the bottoms up. Yes, we would consider going public or some other M&A possibilities, but really only down the road when we're up and running, profitable, and we've established our brand worldwide.